everybody. My name is Keith Sampson, President and CEO of Surf Payments, Cloud9 Multisport, and Trident Business Group. I know it's a lot, right? And this video is primarily geared towards the payments and fintech industry. However, if you happen to be watching this, more than likely, this may relate to the industry that you work in as well. And I'm going to reference another one that I've been in here in a little bit. But this video is really around the idea of how, and again, speaking specifically in the payment space, the people that, as a sales partner, and we choose to board our deals, bring our clients and our merchants to, how do they view those merchants? Do they view them as a valuable resource that as they grow their business, we all grow and win as well? Or do they view that merchant as their own personal piggy bank? Right? And you may have seen some of my content around that. And I know that before you watch this, I know me putting this out there is running into an area that people may want to scream and go, I like it, but they're afraid to hit it because if you hit like, that means you're in agreement to it. And you know what? I'm going to share a story with you before I go into all this content of what really helped push me into the boundaries of making this video. I was at a masterclass for professional speaking in Nashville in December. And I'd had an aha moment where Seth had asked the question, when it comes to speaking, what is the truth that's not being said that you need to say? And that one really kind of wrecked me because, when I bring my authentic self to the stage or working with clients, like it's all of me. It's like legit all of me. But all of me also means that I keep a certain level of myself, like very, very secure, very, very close friend, a group of friends know me beyond that. Above that, I'm a pretty open book. I realized that I brought that to the stage too. And along the way, I realized some truth that wasn't being said that I needed to say to make myself more identifiable. And by becoming more identifiable, I can have greater impact and move people into the direction of growth that they need to be. That evening, I was having a conversation with Solar Richards, and I shared with him this thought. And he looked at me and said, Keith, you are making the world a worse place if you don't share that. I mean, come on. Like, how can I ever get up on stage, give that talk, and not share that piece ever again? Well, ever since that moment in December, I've been thinking about that, not just in my talk, but in multiple places in life, right? So you see, there comes a point in time to where when we see things that are being done wrong, we either choose to do something about it, or by choosing to not do anything about it, we're inadvertently choosing to support it. I mean, it's pretty black and white. If we see something wrong and we do nothing about it, we're choosing to support that action. Well, this video is designed to help bring some awareness, some questions, and like all of my content that I am creating around this transparency and positive disruption that needs to happen in the payments fintech space. I will not mention any company names, any sources. This is, again, an opinion piece. Got to make sure that, legally I'm covering myself. That being said, I do research. I do look at things from multiple perspectives when I put something like this out into the world. So anyways, I know it may seem harsh, and I can assure you, I can 100% assure you that it's true, that businesses, not just in the payments industry, but in multiple industries, view their customers as their own personal piggy bank. Nobody will say that because it's pretty frank and blunt terms. But before I get into the payment space, I saw this happening when I was in the industrial laundry business. You see, from 2000 to roughly 2012, that was the first primary industry where I really developed my professional career. And while I worked for an independent family-owned laundry, we saw the practices being done by these large, most of the time publicly traded industrial laundries. They would enter the market at below market pricing, right? They would quote customers money that you cannot make money at that, and everybody knows it. But yet they would enter the market with that pricing, but then have buried in their contracts, because the idea is like, hey, nobody really reads the agreements, nobody looks at their statements or invoices. They would bury in there the ability to raise prices at will, uncapped, anytime, by writing with 30 days notice on an invoice or statement, something along those lines. And that's exactly what we would see. We'd see people start here and be up here within a certain period of time. You know what? That practice is wrong. I hate it. I hated it then. I hate it now. That is disingenuous and non-integrity based selling, in my opinion. If you disagree with me, so be it. The same thing happens in the payment space. And we've been seeing it recently with certain fintech companies adding either an annual technology fee out of the blue, or now a very large company adding a per terminal fee out of the blue. And these companies will hit the market with a certain price, knowing that they will make money one way or another. They have to, especially if they're publicly traded, because they have to appease to their shareholders, and oftentimes at a greater importance than their partners or their merchants. We see that on smaller scale businesses as well. And, it happens regularly with what a lot of people bucket as junk fees, but I'm going to call them out specifically a regulatory fee. It's bogus. Like there's no reason to have a regulatory fee billed to that merchant whatsoever. The PCI fees, a lot of companies use them as a profit center. The reality is, it doesn't have to be used as a profit center. You should not be paying that much for PCI compliance, and minimal if you don't actually become PCI compliant as a merchant, right? These organizations and companies in the space will use these different things as revenue centers in order to create false pricing or give away equipment. They do other things to be able to enter the market disingenuously, knowing that they are going to make things up. And here's the thing. How many times have you guys seen a regulatory fee or something like that start here, and then it goes here, and here, and here? And let me just preface. I am all about profit. Profit itself is not a dirty word. How you make it can be. And in fact, if a merchant is signed up and is fully disclosed, hey, there is an annual fee of X we charge every year, and they sign off on that and it's fully disclosed, that was an agreement between that person and that business. What's disingenuous, in my opinion, is when they either don't disclose it, right, and they don't even realize they're going to pay it. Number one, that's a break in the sales process. Or number two, hey, now we got them as a customer. Now we can take that fee from here to here to here to here every single month. Oh, and in fact, because in our agreement says we can add a fee, we can do these different things, and now all of a sudden you can't break it, because if you do break the contract, there might be an early termination fee or other different things. Right, so I kind of came up with this analysis, or this not even analysis, an example of something that we wouldn't tolerate in real life. And it goes like this. Let's say I come up to you. You have a vehicle. I don't know what vehicle you drive, but you have a vehicle. And you know me, you trust me, and I go, hey, can I borrow your vehicle? Sure, as long as you put it back in the parking space, here's the keys, you can borrow my vehicle. And I borrow that vehicle. Next month, exact same day of the month, I come back up, hey, can I borrow your vehicle again? Like, sure, Keith, here's the keys to my vehicle. And I do that every single month on the same day. Like, you know what? I trust Keith. I don't ever use my vehicle on that day. Why don't I just give Keith a set of keys? Right? So you hand me my own set of keys to your vehicle, and sure enough, every single month you're just like, dude, just use the car, and as long as you put the vehicle back, we're good. One day I'm walking by your vehicle and I need a little bit of money. I have the keys to your vehicle. I look into that center console through the window and I see you got some cash sitting there. I decide to unlock the vehicle, take a little bit of that cash out, and lock the vehicle back up. Now let me ask you, how long would you let me keep a copy of keys to your truck or your vehicle? How long would you allow me to continue to use? You would probably get those keys back like immediately. You see, in the payment space, when we set up a merchant with a processing company and they sign an agreement and they get a monthly statement, we have just handed that processor access to our merchant's bank account. Sometimes these are our friends, right? And through that, they can now add fees on the monthly statement, i.e. taking money right out of that business's account. They can increase a fee that we signed them up for, and they can do market adjustment increases and not give us the ability to opt out 100% of our portfolio. They can add a technology fee. They can add a terminal fee. They can sit there and do whatever they want within the guise of, well, we can, because it says so in our agreement. Yes, legally you can. Does that make it right? So go back to that vehicle analogy. Let's say when you gave me a set of keys, I had you sign a paper. And in that paper, it says that I'm allowed to take money out of your truck, out of your vehicle. You can't stop me from doing it. And in fact, because you signed this paper, I now get access to your truck and your keys every single day of that month for the next 36 months. regardless if you like me taking money out of your vehicle or not. Isn't that exactly what some of these companies are doing? Right? And that's why I'm creating this piece of content. Is I feel that in business as a whole, we have this opportunity to do it better. I'm at a point with, especially with building Serve, and seeing and choosing my partners wisely, and creating a system for the sales partners that see the value in what we do. I refuse to bend to the idea that you have to do dishonest business, that you have to do things through deception to build a business of value on the market. I know that's going to be incredibly hard for some people to accept or swallow. And in fact, I had a conversation with somebody recently, and like, Keith, I know, I get it, I don't like it, but I'm stuck. I have to continue doing this. And that's going to be a whole nother piece of content that I'm going to do around opening up some transparency around agreements and understanding splits and the power you do and don't have, and some stuff that I'm going to put in place to help give every single person a power to take some of this control back over your portfolio and your merchants. But at the end of the day, I just want you to evaluate who you're choosing to do business with, how they view your precious merchant, how they view the relationship you have with that merchant. And if you're a sales partner bringing merchants to companies that practice in these types of behaviors, I have another question for you. If they're willing to do this and have this attitude towards your merchant, while you think you might have a great relationship with them, what do you think they're going to do with you? How do you think they really view you? At the end of the day, they have to make their acceptable levels of profit. And if they're willing to do this to merchants, why aren't they willing to do it to a sales partner? We have to ask ourselves those difficult questions and then take actions accordingly. You're not going to want to miss the next series of videos that I have on really unpacking the idea of what's in an agreement, the idea of a split of what? Do you have true profit split? I've been doing a lot of research and getting a lot of third-party information sent to me, again, that will be all sourced anonymously. But I will tell you that over the years, I have probably unintentionally enabled some of this bad behavior through the platforms I've had in the past. I will also tell you that opening up my own retail store and being that merchant, not just a provider of merchants, but being that merchant themselves that's trying to figure out, man, how do I open a business and make it profitable as quickly as possible? Dealing with payroll and insurance and all the expenses and the hard work it takes to build a business, especially a retail or a restaurant, and then to sit there and have the idea that somebody can sit there and think that they have a greater right to the money that I earn as a business and put in my bank account than I do as an operator. Like, I never really thought about it through that lens until the last few years. And having that perception, having that lens as a business operator, and not just a sales partner, not just as an ISO operator, but one that truly is doing the life of the people that we are here to serve through the payments and fintech space. It's really been eye-opening. Anyways, I hope this video creates more questions than necessarily answers, because questions are good. Gandhi has an amazing saying. In fact, I'm going to pop it up here on screen for you, because putting a piece out like this, I get it, and it's okay. If you're watching this and you're in full agreement and you're not ready to share, hit like, make a comment, reinforcing, it's okay. I'm telling you, I'm giving you permission to not hit like. Wrestle with this. But let me pop this quote up from Gandhi. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win. You see, if we really want to see good change happen, we've got to do the hard things and step through discomfort to make the positive changes that this industry deserves and the businesses that we're here to serve deserves. Have a great one.
You told me yes.